Back in November of 2023, I put together an in-depth analysis video on Thor Griffith as one of my analysis videos for the 2024 NFL Draft. At that time, Thor was a standout defensive tackle at Harvard, and based on his film, athletic profile, and just raw power, he looked like a potential sleeper last year, with a strong floor as a rotational run defender and a bull rushing specialist. His get-off leverage and grip strength popped on tape, and he consistently disrupted interior lanes in the Ivy League. However, Thor made a decision to transfer to Louisville last season, electing to showcase his skill set against ACC competition and further boost his draft stock. Now, this is a very strong and deep defensive tackle class, so it's hard to say if that was really a smart move in terms of boosting his draft stock. However, I will say it definitely bolstered his case to being a New England Patriot, because now there's a full season of high-level tape against top-tier offensive lines. Now, at Harvard in 2023, Thor was a 91.3 for PFF on their run defense grade and a 79.5 in terms of pass rush. So, one of the more dominant defensive linemen in the FCS. Really good base strength, pad level, quick hands, consistently overwhelmed smaller interior offensive linemen. Very obvious. Now, when he went to Louisville, FBS level, he didn't really slow up. Run defense grade, 86.6, pass rush, 75.8. So, overall defense grade for PFF was at 82.3. All solid marks that validate his ability to transition against Power 5 offensive lines. Now, while his pass rush efficiency is still a work in progress, he's definitely 100% a tone setter in early downs and short yard situations. Can't take that away from him. And although I think my original analysis still holds up, I think we need to discuss why the Patriots should have Thor incredibly high on their list for the 2025 draft. And it's not just because he's from Portsmouth, he went to Harvard, and already Patriots edge rusher Truman Jones was part of the tag team with Thor at Harvard, and they put up some good tape together. Now, those are all pluses, but for right now, I would focus on Thor definitely fits the Patriots' current defensive interior alongside Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, Farms, and working with Keon White. Very interesting. And why he may be one of the most important depth additions in the 2025 preseason. We've heard this. The Patriots want to be aggressive and violent in their front seven. Right? Well, here you go. Now, Thor is interesting in terms of his alignment. Pretty versatile, but if I'm thinking of him for the Patriots, I'm looking at one tech with a 2-eye on even fronts. No shade on odd looks probably, but probably coming in as a sub-package penetrator on passing downs. But he could definitely 2-gap, but I would say he kind of thrives on the 1-gapping. Why? Because of his key traits. This guy has leverage and really good pad level. He is a textbook low man wins. He's got that wrestling background that I talked about in my last video. That shows up, still showed up last year. He wins with hip roll and explosive leverage out of his stance. First step quickness, pretty good. Unusual for a 300-pound guy. Fires off with compact, sudden burst. Ideal for slanting into gaps and triggering inside zone. This guy is a disruptor. Core strength and torque, absolutely off the charts. It's not just a strong guy. We're talking functionally powerful. Holds double teams. I mean, this guy eats pins all day long. You want to pin him? Good luck. This guy can anchor and shed with stacked hips. This guy combines technique and strength perfectly. Motor and effort, relentless. Always chasing the ball. He's one of those guys whose ball's 5 yards downfield. Well, you know he's coming after you, which is obviously invaluable on 3rd and 4th down effort plays. Hand usage, violent. And that's basically the only word I'm going to use for it. I mean, I guess we'll throw precise in there as well. It's not just all over the place. It's not reckless. Really good short arm stab, good forklift, lifting people out of the way. His rip counter, very effective. Really good hand-to-hand combat skills. So he's going to find an edge on anybody he goes up against. And of course, again, the versatility. True nose tackle. His frame and skill set scream movement-friendly front. So again, ideal for that 1-gap disruptor roles that we're talking about in these hybrid defenses. But if you just need him to 2-gap, need him to hold the line, go for it. And I'm just going to say the kid went to Harvard. I'm sure he can pretty much pick up anything you throw at him. Now, measurables, he's 6'2", like 310, 320. His 40 can get under 5 seconds. 10-yard split, I think, was around a 1.7, and he benched 42 reps at his pro day. So, super explosive, freakish strength. Now, what would his role be on the defense? You ready? He's a grit tech nose. He's not just a 2-gap or 0 tech. His value is movement and penetration. He can do the 0 tech if you want, but if you need penetration, and if you need somebody on slanting calls, this guy can do it. Now, in motion-based fronts, you can probably align him at that 2-eye or the 1 shade, just often off the ball. You can use him in slant and stunt games to stress the A-gap and force pressure inside out. Now, he can mugs A-gap on creeper pressures, then drops or rushes late, effectively disrupting protections. You know, the idea of him being so versatile is that in these different packages or just leaving him out there, you can have different roles on first down, second and long, third down, goal line. His skill set allows him to have a different role for all 4 of those. First down, you can have him as slanting 1 tech and over front, keying on the guard's hat and penetrating versus zone. Second and long, you can have him as part of an interior stunt and loop game. You can have him run a TE or an NT twist with him crashing in. Third down, you can have him doing sub package on a 2-eye with a wide 9 behind him. Really effective there. Allows the linebackers to scrape and loop freely. Goal line, obviously going to be leverage-based anchor. If you want somebody to really stop these tush pushes, here you go. You can drop the hips, drop the anchor, wins with natural leverage and body angles. It's hard to move him. I mean, the guy could squat over 700 pounds, he benches 42 reps, and he's violent. But I guess the point is that although you might put him as a no tackle, he isn't your classic tree stump nose tackle. He's built for today's game. He's gap penetrating. He's twitchy, technically sharp. He fits best on that defenses that emphasize gap exchanges, post-snap movement, hybrid fronts, obviously. So again, you can line him up at 0 or a 2-eye if you want to. Harvard used them all the way out. I think he had snaps at edge at one point. So he leans into chaotic fronts. That's relying on timing, disruption, and pre-post-snap disguise. Sounds like what we might be bringing into Foxborough this year. Motor-driven trench brawler. Real juice, lower half, grown man hands. If your team likes that slant and stab on early downs and attack protections with games on third down, Thor definitely belongs in the Patriots D-line room. Now, I think he can be on the team regardless of who stays and what's going on with that defensive front, but honestly, that rotational chess piece might be where he gets his foot in the door. Because we still don't know what's going on with Christian Barmore. Even if Christian can get the go-ahead to come back, it's probably going to take a little bit for him to really get back up. And honestly, because Barmore is so talented and you want to protect him at least a little bit, having a guy that can not only take up some snaps, but also be the insurance if he can't play this year is very smart, because Barmore is that alpha interior rusher. He does align in a 3 tech and 2-eye sometimes. Obviously, he's also used in that TE games and those line stunts to create interior pressure. He's got the violent hands. He's got quick first step and length. Now, he needs those breathers regardless if he's full go, because he's an elite pass rusher, but we don't want him to log 80% plus snaps because we need that explosiveness. And that's if he's all good to go. But that's where Thor can slot in. While he doesn't have Barmore's height and length, he does have similar interior disruption profile, especially against the run-heavy or early down looks. So if you want to have somebody that comes in on those first 2 downs, and then you can bring Barmore in third, just to maybe, again, get that disruptive look, there you go. Because Thor can do the 1 gap, he can do the 2 gap, can shade anywhere you need him. He can play the 3 tech, he can play the 2-eye, 4-man fronts, aligning on different sides of the guard. Early downs, he can fire off low. I mean, obviously he splits the guard and tackle very well. He forces zone runs to bounce. He's a disruptor. He can do that. And if you just need Barmore to be out, he can probably play all 3 downs if you need him to, because he gives the same level of penetration philosophically, but there's more leverage and pad level to his game. So against certain teams, he might even be a better option, especially versus power run schemes. Now, again, Barmore is going to win with the long arm and twitch, where Thor is going to probably win with more hip explosion and torque. They're both first step penetrators, just in different ways. He's not just a clogger. And what's interesting is that Barmore is very vertical. Thor actually probably outpaces Barmore laterally. So when both are asked to scrape across the face and stunts, Thor's probably going to beat him out in that way, which also can allow him to work with Milton Williams, who's somebody we don't really know is all 3 down guy. He can be also working in to help give Milton a breather. Now, Milton Williams was a massive pickup. Now, although undersized, still an explosive 3-tech guy who bends and attacks gaps. Now, putting both of them on the field, now all of a sudden, New England has a rotation of shorter, dense, twitched-up interior defensive linemen that are built to slice gaps rather than just two-gap and space eaters. You need a whole entire defensive front to make penetration and just cause chaos in that backfield. Well, Thor can do that for you. Or if you just need him to hold the line, again, if you just need him to hold the line, there you go. You got him. But, with Milton and Thor, they both have explosive get-offs, leverage-oriented frame, violent, accurate hands, and a high motor. A lot of comp there. Which allows Thor to be, again, working for Barmore or Milton, depending on what's needed. Now, you can imagine this look on third and, say, medium. Milton Williams on the 3-tech on the boundary side. You have Thor on the 2-eye on the field side. And you could have even Barmore wide if you wanted to on like a 5-tech and just mugging the A-gap. Pretty interesting stuff, if that's needed. You can run twists and cross-face stunts between Thor and Milton. You can use Thor to crash through the A-gap, while Milton then loops and gets that one-on-one with the center. Oh, you're talking about absolute carnage of that offensive line. And of course, drop Barmore and rush him late as a delayed looper to attack the QB set point. That's an easy finish. And we're not even factoring in Keon White or Landry or Chazon. Now, this will make protections absolutely slide the wrong way, with all three defensive linemen having bursts to capitalize off the timing. Someone's going to win in that situation, right? You have Milton, you get Thor, Barmore if he's in there, and again, anybody else that's along there is going to have some sort of win there. Someone's going to capitalize off the disruption between those two. I mean, that also works on early downs. You can have Thor on the 1-tech shaded to the nose. He attacks the A-gap, early down tone setter. Milton's the 3-tech over with a 4-eye and under front, stunts off Thor's pressure. And of course, Barmore's coming in as that NASCAR DT. These are options. But ultimately, if you want to maximize Barmore, I mean, Thor's base strengths allow Barmore to stay fresh for high leverage down and keep Milton fresh in order to use his lateral quickness, which again, complements Thor's vertical crash. Together, all these guys form a very disruptive interior rotation that can match up against any zone-heavy offense, and anybody who wants to go power against these guys, good luck, because Thor's just going to put the hammer down, and nothing's moving. Now, to kind of bring that all together, you would say, yeah, Thor's kind of like a base down 1-tech or 2-eye as a leverage plug, and then on pass rush roll, interior penetrator, and just the idea of collapsing the pocket. Again, this would leave Christian as more of a 3-tech disruptor on the run defense. Maybe even put him out at 5-tech if you really wanted to do that on early downs. On the pass rush, you can have Barmore being alpha rusher or stump partner. Then Milton on run, he's a slashing 3-tech or 4-eye, which will fit for an over-under scheme. One-on-one exploiter versus guards. And the other thing is that Thor can kind of substitute for Barmore for his roles or Milton Williams for his roles. Very interesting. Now, this brings us to the next question is, when do you get him? Obviously, it's going to have to be a day 3. I know the media is not, really caught up on Thor. He was essentially one of the top transfer portal targets last year. He actually had a really good year as a D tackle. The thing is that he didn't rack up 1 million sacks. He didn't have 1 million tackles. Came from Harvard, had 1 year at Louisville, so it's not like he has this really long track record of playing in Power 5. So I can see why he's under the radar for the media. The thing is that I think he's a lot higher on teams' boards. And like I said before, this guy is definitely one of the guys who got snubbed for the combine. And he's being snubbed overall in any of the draft simulators. It seems like every time I do a draft, I get down to the bottom like, oh yeah, by the way, I'd probably consider Thor down here as well. And that's where I'm at. Maybe they have to get him day 3. Maybe that new 5th that they pick up would be a good idea for him. If not, they're really chancing on the 7th. Essentially, it probably comes down to how fast those D tackles come off the board, or if there's any intel telling the Patriots that Thor's higher on other teams' boards, and they're going to have to make a move to get him earlier than they thought. Either way, I think he's one of the guys you're targeting. I know there's a lot of great D tackles in this class, and I think your guys are starting to learn a decent amount of them. Read up on Thor. Watch some highlights. Yes, you might actually have to go back and watch some Harvard tape if you really want to learn about the guy. But looking at his profile, he fits what the Patriots are going to want to do. And again, he's from Portsmouth. He went to Harvard, so he knows how to play in the Northeast. He's from around here, proved himself at Louisville. He had a great tag team with Truman Jones, so he's got a guy that he knows in the building. It makes sense. It makes too much sense. It's almost a perfect fit. It'd be almost negligent not to bring him in. Anyway, what do you guys think of Thor? Do you think the Patriots should go after him? If so, when? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys like this content, of course, please like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching.